everybody, welcome back. I read through this whole devotional from Purpose Driven Essentials, like I said I would, and I really liked it. There was a big focus on taking your faith and moving it from personal to outward expressions. And I think that's important. But I also know as women, sometimes we really need what we're trying to give out, like love and peace and joy and patience and perseverance and self-control. We need that all ourselves. And really, we need it first, because we can only give from an overflow of what God has given us. So I really like the devotional is kind of story-based. And then she also gives a bunch of different scriptures with each one, so that if you've already done Bible journaling in one scripture, you can go to another one, or if one just isn't really hitting you that day, you can go to another one. So I liked how many different scriptures were used. And yeah, so of course I've got to break rules, and so I'm doing day 3 on day 1, but this was on peace, and I really wanted to focus on peace. And instead of getting one of the pieces of fruit from the fruit of the Spirit ephemera, I grabbed a little bird. So, and we'll talk about why birds mean peace to me. But I'm using the Caran d'Ache Neocolor crayons that came in this kit, and they are fantastic. You guys, I've never used Neocolors before, and I love them. So I drew right on the page, and then I added water. Now I'm turning a little piece of packaging into kind of a palette. So I'm turning it into paint before I put it on the page. And then in a bit, I'll be drawing the nest for the bird and leaving some of the kind of drawing behind and not wetting it, so that you see some of the brush strokes from coloring. And then we'll move into mixing blue and green, or blue and yellow. Surprise, it makes green. So we got, and I use a couple of different shades of green. So we're getting quite a bit of color out of these two colors, and there's some bonuses. They do not bleed through, and in fact, they do better on a non-gessoed page. So these are perfect for Bible journaling. And they blend super well. They're super creamy and fun. And you can use them to highlight text. You'll see that at the end. I'm just like a huge fan. And then I didn't write over them on this page, but I wanted to see, because I know a bunch of us struggle with gelatos because you cannot write over the top of them or use pen. Guess what? You can write on the top of these. And these are a very similar product to gelatos, but I used my gel pens and they worked great on top of the Neocolor pigment. So that's all really good news for Bible journaling. So I'm a huge fan of Caran d'Ache Neocolor crayons, and my birthday's not till September, so I don't know what I'm gonna do until then, because I'm gonna have to wait and ask for them for my birthday. Anyway, personal problems. I will find peace about this situation. So let's go back to talking about peace. So I chose a bird sitting in a tree. You guys might remember, if you've been around here for a little bit, that we had a dog pass away, and named Caleb, a few months ago. And there's actually a little video I did that I did some Bible journaling around him, just to kind of honor who he was in our lives and document what he meant to us. But one of his, I think he thought it was a gift, was that he would chase birds out of our yard. He was a shepherd, and he didn't have sheep, so he made sure that there were no birds in our yard. He didn't hurt them, but he would bark at them and chase them out. And now that he's gone, the birds can come back. And so for me, the birds are a symbol of peace. They can actually find rest. And this devotional is talking about where are you safe and secure? Where are you loved and nurtured? Where do you find that place of peace? And so it's like God builds us the nest, and all we have to do is sit in it. You've heard me talk about this metaphor before on this channel. It must be a really powerful one that I need to be paying attention to, because it keeps coming up as I'm praying through peace and calm and nurturing and finding those places. So before we can really kind of reach out into the world and bring peace to others, we've really got to dig in and find peace in our own lives and find the peace that God promises us. And this is, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you at the beginning, we're in Isaiah 32, and I'm really liked verses 9 through 20, but let me read you 15 through 20. It says, "Till the Spirit is poured from us on high, and the desert becomes a fertile field, and the fertile field seems like a forest. The Lord's justice will dwell in the desert, and his righteousness will live in the fertile field. The fruit of righteousness will be peace. Its effect will be quietness and confidence forever. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest. Though hail flattens the forest and the city is leveled completely, how blessed you will be." So God's desire is for us to rest in a peaceful place. So if you struggle with peace, unfortunately, that's pretty common since we live in the real world with real humans, and real humans aren't always very peaceful people, especially if they can't find peace themselves. So I really think our calling here is to dig into finding peace. I find Bible art journaling extremely peaceful. The other day, I was really high-strung and nervous about things and anxious, and I was just kind of puttering around doing absolutely nothing, getting nothing done, and just kind of frozen in fear because what I needed to do was work on this really big commissioned watercolor painting, and I was too scared to start. And finally, I hear God say, "Do some Bible journaling." And so I just sat down and opened my Bible, and I was a totally different person when I got that done. So for me, Bible journaling is one of these places of peace for me that I've been able to connect to God so quickly and with so much fruit. I guess, sorry for the pun on the metaphor, but it's true. It is fruitful for me to sit down and do Bible art journaling almost every single time. I only say almost because nothing can be perfect, but I don't know that I've ever come away feeling still unsettled. God just settles my spirit. And it's just a matter of meeting him. And this is the medium in which he's given me to meet him is through creating art in my Bible. So really, however you find God best, that's really going to be your place of peace. And if you notice a pattern in your life where you are peaceful and it's a good habit, like don't start drinking to find peace, and don't start fights to find peace. Just not recommending those. But like if you know that going for a walk really clears your head, then that's a good thing to do. If you know that meeting with a friend for coffee is usually ends up in peace, feeling peaceful in those situations, do that, because God's giving you those pieces, these places, and opportunities to find peace. So just experiment, I guess, with what might bring you peace, and especially if you don't know what that is quite yet, because it's super important that we be peace. Okay, like time out, because I'm trying the fudge that came in the kit. And I'm not, honestly, I love chocolate, but I'm not a huge fudge fan. I'm more like a cookie cake kind of person. But you guys, seriously, it's really rude for me to eat in front of you, but that's really good stuff. And I'm not just saying it. I'm not getting paid to say it. They did send me that for free, but I would tell you if it was gross, because no, it's so creamy. Anyway, back to the Neo colors, because they're creamy and they have no calories. So let's make some more green here. So I'm adding more texture in the tree with a different shade of green. I just added more blue than I did yellow when I mixed them together. And so that just makes kind of a different shade of green. So these are really cool. And to be able to use just two of them and get like a whole page of color out of them, that's pretty exciting. So if you guys want to experiment with these, I know blick.com, you can order them individually, and also By the Well for God. You can order them individually. Both of those companies have shipping that are similar. So you're going to pay shipping on those. But By the Well for God also has their fun Bible kits. So you could order those in a couple of Neocolors. And I think they do a deal where if you buy 10 Neocolor crayons, you get one free. So you might want to check that out. And I always have the link to By the Well for God in the show notes here for you guys. I'm not affiliated with them officially at all. I just love them. You guys know that. So anyway, that's just a little tip on how to get some Neocolors at a great price and support a good Christian business. So then I'm just using the Neocolors directly on the page to highlight the verses that I just read to you guys, because those just really stood out to me. And I want to create kind of an ombre effect of yellow to green to blue. So I'm just letting the yellow mix in with the blue, and then I'm rinsing out my brush and pulling the blue up into the green. So this page was like a lot of fun to put together with the sequins and the crayons and the ephemera, and we're going to add some washi tape here at the bottom, and then I've got a fun little another paper clip that I made. I'll show you in a second. And I think for me, fun and joy are also places of peace for me. So at first I was like, I kind of think peace is like being somber and quiet. And I grew up in a town really close to a monastery, and like you go up there and it's so quiet. I used to study at their library, and it's so quiet up at that monastery. And I think of that as peace, and then I think I am so not a quiet person. So am I not peaceful? Well, I think peace can look a little bit different, but we all kind of learn what it means to kind of center our hearts around peace, the peace of God that passes all understanding. So here I'm just writing a little prayer, and I'm thanking God for Bible art journaling and the peace that it brings me. And I just ask him to continue to meet me in that place, and that I can then have an overflow of peace that can be shared with others. Like, I can't be the peace of God, but I can bring the peace of God with me when I go out into the world. And that is another way that we really stand out as Christians, is if we're peaceful in a chaotic, self-centered, frustrated world. So I just really encourage you to be intentional about going after this fruit of the Spirit, because it's so important. So now look, I made these little fruities. You might have seen it on Instagram if you follow me over there. I'm the Modern Mess Princess over there too. And I made these little fruity things. And so you're going to see which one made it in the Bible. Dun, da, 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 the strawberry. For no reason other than I really like it. So this kit from PDE is sold out. But April 2018, they sent me this little sneak peek. And yes, I threw a sticker of a donut in there because I'm thinking fudge. They could send us donuts. So anyway, these are just some sneak peeks. And some of you actually said, hey, if the All People, All Nations is in the kit, I'm so in. Well, here you go. So they do pre-orders. So make sure you go pre-order for the next month if you want to get in on that kit, because that's the only way you can order from this company is through pre-orders. So if you have questions about purpose-driven essentials and how this all works, leave them in the comments. I will help you out. And I hope you guys can really dig in and find some peace today. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Bye.